Anybody remember the assignment from last week?
What's it?
Okay, only 2 people. I would talk to a friend this morning. I said, do you remember what the assignment from last week was? They're like, no, I don't remember. I can't remember. And I said, it's interesting how people don't remember the things of God. But if God said, remember to cuss out your neighbor, you remember to do that. But when he said, think on the things that you should be thinking on, you don't even remember what they are. Isn't that amazing? And this was so important. Tell these lost souls what it was.
It was to be aware of accepting life. Life is what it is, and be aware of accepting.
Yeah, I said that if you want to be free for 1 week, you got to accept what happens. What is. Don't be upset about it. Don't deny it. If whatever happens in your life, don't get upset about it. Accept it and see if there's a change in your life. Isn't it interesting that when you don't accept it, it seems to be a big deal?
It is.
But when you do accept it, it's the same situation, but it's not a big deal.
Right.
That's amazing, huh?
That's what keeps you, I think, kept me from getting through things in the past because I was so hung up on them.
That's
I
right.
never get past it.
It is what it is.
Right.
And when you get upset about it, and people don't realize when you get upset about it, you start to judge it. You start to go in the past or the future. You're going to make it better later if I can only make it through this. But when you accept it, there's no temptation to tempt you to feel any kind of way about it. Then you just deal with it.
One of the issues I was dealing with was a family issue, and I just released it, didn't deal with it, didn't think about it, just accepted what was. And actually it began to turn around for me.
Yes. Isn't that amazing? The more you let go, the better things. It's not real what you're fighting on, the things you're fighting against. It's all in your mind. It's not that important. There's nothing in life that's that important that you need to hold on to it or worry about it or be upset about it. Nothing. It's best to let it go. And when you let it go, you can work it out. It resolves itself. You see how to overcome it. Plus, you don't give room to your ego mind to try to cause you to trip out or worry about it or fix the problem or that kind of thing. Isn't that a nice way to live?
Yes.
Did you do it the whole week or just?
Yeah, I did it the whole week.
And the week went by just like that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it is. There's nothing in your life you need to hold on to. You seem like you doubted that.
Yeah. Your relatives, for instance, you have to deal with them. And you see that they're still kind of getting you upset. You see that, you accept it, but where's the overcoming, the power to overcome all that?
Well, when you accept it, that is overcoming. That you just see that they're getting you upset. They're getting to you. And if you don't do anything else about it, you start to overcome it. But if you attack them or start judging yourself, or you start to worry about it, you don't overcome it, you get worse.
So that goes with long-term problems. You just kind of accept it, and it should eventually clear up.
I don't know what a long-term problem is.
Like an addiction. Some addictions can run years, and even after you stop them, you still have this tendency to want to go back to it.
Right. I understand what you're saying. And one thing I realize about long-term addictions, it doesn't exist except in your mind. God helped you get over things just like that, at the twinkling of an eye. But if you've been taught it's long-term, or your thoughts are telling you it's going to take forever, and you believe the lie, that's why you're constantly fighting with it forever. It's an illusion. It is not real. He changes people just like that, especially when you can let go and let him do it. Now, the temptation will come and keep trying to pull you back in by telling you you're not over it or trying to make you feel something about it. But really, it's over as soon as you realize you have it. It's done just like that. What a nice way to live, huh?
It's over as soon as you realize what?
That you're in it, that you have this issue,
Oh, okay.
whatever it is. If you can just realize you have it and that's it, then it's over with. Yes.
Well, what if it's a physical addiction? Like if somebody's addicted to heroin or something, it's just over with.
Yes.
Their body is not telling them that it's over with.
Right. They're going to feel the ego pain of it because the ego has been living off that for so long. So it's going to cry out for it because it doesn't want to die. But if you just realize it's not you that's crying out, but it's the ego wanting to be fed, and just let it die, it's done. But most people
Just
think
like
that,
that.
yeah, just like that. Most people think that the pain that they have is their pain, that they're feeling the pain. But it's not you feeling the pain. You're just laying there or standing there, whatever you do, feeling nothing about it. Just it's this other, not you, that's feeling the pain of it. That makes sense? But see, we've been so trained to live in a long-term way. We've been told things take forever. We've been told that some things we cannot overcome. And the moment you believe that lie, then that's the way it is. It's the lie that keeps you locked in, because the devil mind will play on that. And we've been convinced of these things. And God tells us that we can overcome it at the twinkling of an eye. But people don't know how to overcome because they're so identified with it.
So you're saying there would be no withdrawal pains or anything for an individual that was in that situation? They wouldn't have any withdrawal, they would just,
They may have
pick of
some
a finger, they could just.
They may have some pain in their body because that thing want it. But as long as they know that it's not them, that's not the true person crying out for it, then they can get over it. And if they have to endure some body pain, they just have to endure it. But they would know that it's not them. And that's the problem. People think that it's them. And so they start to get depressed about it. Or they say, oh, I thought I was over it. Look at it, I still want it. But it's not them that wanting it. And that's why you have to become aware of the not you self. Because most people, 99% of people identify with a self that's not them. They don't see this other self that's there, the real self. That makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is the other self?
The other
It's
self.
not you, who is it?
The other self is the self that don't feel pain, that has pure joy, has peace all the time. The other self is the self that love what's right and would do what's right and follow what's right. And the other self, you can't feel, taste, or touch. You just live it. And it's life. There is no fear, no doubt, no worry. But this self that you think is you, that's not you, is the dying self. It has fear, it has doubt, it judges a fellow man, it drinks, it lies, it cheats, steals, it worries, it looks up to the outside for something to satisfy it. That's not you. And that's the problem, is people don't know it. And that's what I'm trying to do, is help them find their true self. The kingdom of heaven is within us. And once you find that, you never have to worry again. You don't identify with what your body is going through. The pain of the body, of the ego. You cannot identify with that anymore. That's why it's good to sit still and know God, because some people have, they're kind of tough. They love pain. They love suffering. So it takes them a while to get there. But they get a glimpse of another reality along the way. You can get that. And that's what people mean when they say, well, I had it, but then I lost it. I had it, I don't have it anymore. They had a glimpse of it. They didn't have it. Because once you cross over, you can't go back. It's like once you go black, you can't go back. You're totally related to something that's not you. And that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
You're already free. You've already been saved from hell. But you just don't know it. You've been taught other things. You've been preached at. You've been told what you should feel or think. You've been lied to. And so it's hard for you to disconnect from the lie. You got to doubt the lie so you can believe back into the truth. If you can ever doubt the lie, you'll be free. That's all it really takes. It's so easy. You're not a drug addict. You're not an alcoholic. You're not a liar. It's just you believe that you are. But that's not who you are. Now that's who your Father is, and you serve him. That ego will cry out, oh, I want a cigarette.
Right.
The first time something happens and you overreact to it, you want to go smoke. But if you can know that's not you crying out for it, you wouldn't do it. It's strange that you can live this way. This way of living is strange. Because it's
Why
so,
can't we do that in
you don't see a
everything?
lot of people living this way. It doesn't seem to be, it doesn't, in your fallen mind, it doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem to be another way of living. Live free from this other reality that we've been taught. It doesn't, but it's real. And I think about this sometimes, like, this is too unreal. You know, that you can live, there's a real way of living, a natural way. And most people live in the unnatural way of living, the unnatural life.
So what does it take so we can wake up?
What does it take? Remember the assignment at the beginning. What it takes is to seek first the kingdom of God and His right way, and all things will be added.
So just keep going there.
Your mind should be set on the things of God, and not. And Wayne Jr. gave a good example. He said, "You know what? It's the way it is," and all of a sudden you relax. He didn't go home depressed and, oh, I got to pay bills and the day is rough, because his mind is set on the right things now, instead of on the bills that he has to pay up, or who like him or who don't like him, and all this stuff. It doesn't
Which
make
doesn't
sense.
mean anything.
That's right. It just, you got to be nuts. That's why I said most people are retarded.
So it's just like every
Isn't that like a retarded mind? We need to bring that word back really strong.
Right. So it's just like every time it starts pulling you there, you just kind of, every time it starts pulling you there, you just kind of see it.
That's all you need to do.
That's it.
Yes.
See it and ignore it.
Yeah, because it just kind of like keeps going like.
Yeah, it controls you. That's why I said that of ourselves we can do nothing. We are not in control of our own lives. Because if you're connected with this not you thing, it does make you do what you don't want to do. You know, it makes you worry. It causes you to trip out. It causes you to hate your fellow man. It causes you to overreact. But when you disconnect from it by being born into this other life, then it causes you to do what you do. Not to worry. You can't even overreact. It gives you perfect peace. Isn't it like nice? And all you have to do is let go.